West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome back to the Same Old Arsenal podcast. I'm not going to say episode such and such because it's not. Well, I should really, shouldn't I? I should really keep count of this. Well, it's episode one.
Yeah,
episode one of a new show with just me and the judge. Been talking about this one we've been talking about this one for about 2 years.
Yeah, we have, gentlemen. Yeah, we certainly have.
What will we do? And it just never really got going, really, did it? We never really spoke about it. But we had a talk during the week and said, yeah, let's do something. So we've come up with a question of, well, you know, let's be honest. I come up with a question of Arsenal. A pure show made for you, the viewers, where you can ask us anything you like, within reason, of course. Anything.
No, anything.
Anything within reason.
Anything.
I don't know about that. My missus
We'll
watches,
try and answer if we can.
my missus watches these. So do my kids, actually. So no,
Within reason.
Within reason. A few things I just wanted to say before we get going. I have stopped the super chats, and let me explain why. Number one, because I'm quite uncomfortable with people sending me £50 to ask a question. To be honest with you, I'm quite uncomfortable with that. I thought it was a mistake, but obviously hasn't, because I reached out to the fellow and he hasn't got back to me. So it's a lot of money just to ask the question. So I've stopped doing the super chats. But if you feel like you want to support the podcast on YouTube, if you're watching the video now, you'll see this just down below there. You'll see a little join button, and there's 3 tiers. Now, this is called YouTube membership, so I'm sure that you all understand what it is. Other channels give this option to people for, you know, members only streams, this, that, and the other. Now, I am not going to. At this moment in time, I'm not going to offer members-only streams or extra content or Discord servers or this, that, and the other. I haven't got the time. I'll be straight out with you. But if you feel that you want to support the podcast, there's 3 tiers there. One is 99p, one is 1.99, and the other one is 2.99. If you want to support the podcast for 99 pence a month, go down, press join, 99p a month. And you don't have to worry about it then. That's it. 99 pence. Ask the questions away. I'll pick out the best ones, and then I haven't got to worry and feel guilty about people paying 50 quid.
I'm happy to take the super chats.
Yeah. I bet you are. Well, do you know what that does mean, though, don't you? That means that there'll be no Big Macs in that now.
Well, yeah, that's a bit out of order. You've made this decision on your own, by the way, and now stop my supply of Big Macs. You know what I mean? So I'm not happy.
Oh, David Keefe says, how much does it cost for a good question, Craig? At the moment, nothing. Nothing. So shall we crack on? If you want to ask us a question, get it in the chat box now. I've got. Oh, look at that! Look.
Well done, Pat.
Thank you very much, Pat. Very good on you. Good on you, sir. Thank you very much. He's become a member. Thank you very much, Pat. Much appreciated, mate.
Just before we start, Craig,
go for it, mate.
Lovely to see Karen back in the chat, like, you know what I mean?
Have I missed her?
Yeah, she's in the chat. She's back. You know what I mean?
Karen, how are you? Welcome back to the Same Old Arsenal.
Great to have you back, Karen. Great
this is Same Old AFC. Welcome back. Great to see you there. And thanks for coming back. Now, so this show is called A Question of Arsenal. It's not going to be audio. It's just going to be video only. Okay. Ask us anything you like. the first question. I should really be organised, shouldn't I? The first question came into us via Twitter, actually, and that question was: Lee judges. Can you explain to us the meme about Lee half-pint judges? That comes in from Colt of Red Barrel. Thanks for the question, mate. History made. That's your first question.
First question. So yeah, that's a good one as well, isn't it?
Where did the meme come from, and why do people call you half-pint judges?
There you go. Well, what it is, I'll tell you what it is that I ain't the greatest of drinkers, you know what I mean? So I can have a couple of pints, 2 or 3 pints, and then like what I turn around and it was a thing that was said is like, you have another one, I'll just have half. And that's where it come from. Like, of course, then when I was out with Kevin, he wouldn't have it. He would not buy an half, like, you know what I mean? So what we actually do now is that whenever we're out with Kevin, we always buy 2 pints and a half, like, and we have the folk with the half, you know what I mean? Like, so, and let me tell you now, like, you know, he used to drink it, not me, like, you know. So that's where it comes from. And we've kept it up. But like normally, like, you know, so we're going in, and I always, so that's where it comes from. I always have an half at the end, and people take the mickey out of me. But that's how it is. And we've sort of, what's the word? It's gone well, and it, you know, I mean, it's part of the dilemma of the what do they call that? Dilemma of what it is with me. You know what I mean? So it's part of the package. You know what I mean? Along with all the other things, half pint, I'm quite happy with. I quite like it. And
you could be called a lot worse.
I'm not ashamed of it.
You could be called a lot worse, to be honest.
Well, I have been. Don't worry about that. Like,
do you know?
Yeah.
Let's have a look here now. This one comes in from. Here it comes. This is a good one, Lee. This one comes in from Max. Thanks for your question, Max. With fans back in the stadium next season, do you think that will help Arsenal improve on the pitch? Good question, that, because I think without fans in the stadium, I think we talked about this a little bit before, didn't we? Without fans in the stadium, are players willing to try things that they wouldn't try if the stadium was full because of the moans and the groans and the abuse that that would be thrown? But then, on the flip side of that, I think if you ask a footballer, do you prefer playing in a stadium with no fans or with fans? You know, it's going to be with fans 100% all the time, surely.
Without a doubt. Without a shadow. I can only speak from experience, you know what I mean? Like, the bigger the crowd, the better. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you sometimes you play in front of a big crowd and you get the buzz of it all, and then the next game you've got not so many people there, it can affect your performance, you know. So I think it's a difficult one. I think that the professional side of it, I don't think they should be worried about what fans think and all that. Like, they're professional footballers. But I do think that sometimes if you can feed off the atmosphere a little bit, like, you know, and especially when you're at home and you need that. I think, say, for instance, we were 1-0 down against Man City and it just petered out. And I've seen a lot of Arsenal games this season just peter out, like, you know what I mean? We've been 1-0 down to. I don't think the fans would have allowed that to happen, particularly when we was at home. You know, there would have been the roar, like the encouragement to get behind them. And, of course, the disappointment once you lost. So it's a great question. I do think that it does affect teams, affects results, because you just got to look at the away form this season. Of a lot more teams are winning away from home than ever, so it must have some sort of influence on it. It must do, like, you know, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. This one comes in from our new member, Pat. Thank you very much, Pat. Once again, mate. He says, "I have a question, lads. I'm training for the London Marathon. What do you do? What do you like to do outside watching the mighty Reds?" I'll let you answer that one first, mate. Have you got any hobbies? Have you got anything you like to do to relax?
Well, I've got loads of things that I do, like, you know, I love my cricket, and I like, you know, so in the summer, I go and watch a bit of cricket. You
like a bit of tennis as well, didn't you?
Love me tennis, absolutely love me tennis. So Wimbledon's one of the highlights of the year. So I enjoy it. You know, American football, I'm a big American football fan with the Washington football team now. You can't call them the Redskins no more. So, you know, I enjoy that. So yeah, I've got like going to the theatre when it was allowed to be opened and all that. I've got a bit of culture about me. I like to go to galleries and with the fine arts and things like that.
Shut up.
What are you on about? Shut up. You know what I mean?
The fine arts.
Wine tasting things I like to do, and all those sort of things really
Well, I only have two things I like doing really, other than watching football and apart from being with my family, of course, and spending time with them, is fishing. I love fishing. Been a mad fisherman since I was a kid. I have my dad to thank for two things: fishing and Arsenal. Fishing, mate. Not just fishing, Lee. Fishing in the sea for bass. Fishing in the sea for bass.
Go on a boat, you know what I mean?
I'm sure I'm going to offend people now, but real fishing. Not fishing like Tony Fane does, where you go over and you chuck loads of bait.
He don't fish. He just goes for a picnic because he never. I've never known him to catch a fish. The only thing he's ever caught is a cold, and that they go over there, eat their sandwiches, and then they go home. You know what I mean? So they might as well go camping, as far as I'm concerned.
And the other thing I like to do, which I've been doing since I was a young lad as well, is play video games. As sad as it might sound, I've been playing video games since I was 9, 10, I suppose. Up until now, I still play them. Fishing and video games. Fishing and video games.
Cool. You're a blast, you are, aren't you?
I'm the life and soul of any party.
Yeah, I'm a bit hurt that people don't think that I like the arts and things like that. I think what a bit out of order that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's out of order, but
well, I do. You know what I mean? Well, why wouldn't I like the fine arts of the world and things like that? Bit of opera. Why don't I? Can't be a bit of opera, a bit of classical music.
Talking of being the life and soul of a party, would you risk Thomas' party tomorrow?
Would I?
Reports are saying that he's going to face a late fitness test either today or tomorrow, and if he's feeling good, I think he's going to play.
Well, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I'd have him on the bench just in case things go. I wouldn't start him, just in case, because we get through this round, we're going to play bigger and better and harder teams, and we should actually get through this round without risking him. If I'll be honest, we're going to come up against a lot tougher games, and you can't keep having him play for a couple of games and break down. So for me, no, I wouldn't risk him tomorrow. Have faith in the players that you've got, and if we win, we win. If we go out, well, then so be it. That's down to the manager and the players.
Absolutely, I have to agree with you there, mate. This one comes in from AFC Wasty this is on Periscope on Twitter. Out of the two players, who would you have in the team now? Carnu or Bentner?
Sure, that's a good one. Do you know what? Bentner is someone that we could do with for a plan B. Someone that could put the ball.
He scored one of the best goals I've ever seen. I was lucky enough. Actually, the two goals that I'll always remember Nicholas Bentner for, I was lucky enough to be in the ground. The first one was when he scored the header in the North London derby against Spurs.
Coming straight on, yeah.
When he came out. And the second one was against Ipswich Town in the semi-final of the Carling Cup. I don't know if you remember the goal. Fabregas knocked him a ball from, I don't know, 20, 30 yards. And he took it down with the inside of his... He took it down with the outside of his right foot, took one touch, steadied himself, and bent it into the far corner. It was an outstanding finish. One of the best goals I've ever seen live. Old Nicky B. Better than Ronaldo, I think he said he was going to be, didn't he?
Well, he wasn't that bad of a player, Carnu, I think we got much of a match for them at this moment in the current team. So I know it sounds silly, I'd probably go for Bentner because he's like a plan B. Carnu was, without doubt, an absolutely outstanding footballer. But we've got too many of those sort of players in this team, and that was a great thing about Carnu in those glory days. He was a completely off the cuff and something different to what we had. So, we do need, a Giroud type, Bentner type player as a plan B. So for that reason, I would probably go for
Nicholas Bentner, but I mean,
Nicholas Bentner, yeah.
talking the goals that them two boys got. I mean, that goal that Kanu got us at Chelsea. Oh, what a goal!
Unbelievable. I remember
What a goal.
I think the back heel at Middlesbrough. I think like going back on the opening day of the season.
Was you at that game, the Chelsea game, when Kanu stuck that one in?
No, I was still playing then. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I tell you what, I if you remember that game, I was playing that day, but our game got called off because it was really bad rain, wasn't it? Yeah, really a lot of rain. So our game got called off. I ended up going to London. I can't even remember what it was now. I was in London, and I see that they were 2-0 down, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Typical Arsenal. And then coming home, I heard that we'd won 3-2. So match of the day was on for that, like, and everything like that, you know, afterwards. So yeah, that was a great day. And when you actually see that, you know, I think someone messaged me, or I can't remember now what it was. You know, it's a long while ago, saying, "Oh, you wait till you see Kanu's go and all that." The second, like the winner. And it was sensational.
Oh, it was sensational goal. I mean, it's absolutely sensational. A goal that will live long in the memory. This one comes in from Alex McCarthy. Craig, were you any good as a goalkeeper? Pity we haven't got. I really shouldn't be answering this. Mark would be a good one to answer this question because I spent all my youth football days playing with Mark. We went through youth together. Now, I started playing football at the age of 8 in goal. I played for a team from my local town. My hometown is Clacton-on-Sea in Essex. I played for a youth team called Elmdon Youth. That's where I started. I played for them for 2 years, and then I got approached by Wivenhoe Youth. I spent 2 good years at Wivenhoe. We won the league. We won cups. And while I was at Wivenhoe, we were actually playing Clacton United in the final of the Colchester Open Cup. I think it was either the Colchester Open Cup or the Suffolk Open Cup, and we won the game 5-0. I think it was 5-0. I had a particularly good game. I'm not going to lie. And after the game, my dad came over and said that Ipswich Town scout had been there and he wanted me to go over. So I spent 2 years at Ipswich in the youth team. Very lucky, I played in the same team as Kieran Dyer, Richard Wright, Titus Bramble. They all went on to be professionals. And I didn't. And the funny story is, after I got released from Ipswich, it knocked my confidence so much, I actually went out on pitch. I went up front. And I went and played for Clacton Town. Under 15s, I think it was at the time. Under 16s. And I finished top scorer in the league. Got an eye for goal as well, Lee, you know. Got an eye for goal as well.
I'm impressed with that, like, you know. Yeah. So,
Mark will back all that up. I played with Mark. Played against Mark in that very final, actually.
Decent level. That's what it's all about. Like,
yeah. It was good times. It was good. It was fun times. I got free tickets for Ipswich. That's where my affiliation with Ipswich comes. I always look out for Ipswich. I always look out for their results. I've openly been to more Ipswich games than I have Arsenal games because I got free tickets. I could go to any game I wanted. I used to go and watch Arsenal or Ipswich. I've seen Ipswich beat Man United, Tottenham, Portman Road. When they first got promoted, when they won the old Division 2, they came up to the Premier League, and Jesus, Leeds came down as champions. Ipswich hammered them off the park. Never forget that. So I've seen some good football at Portman Road, and I was very lucky and very fortunate, to have free tickets and just turn up. There you go, mate, in the door. So I was very lucky, very lucky. This one comes in from Sam Greenwood. Good evening to you, sir. On a debate, manager versus players, how is it that the players, when the manager chooses them, Xhaka, Bella and Willian, and 2, they can clearly play when they want to, i.e. FA Cup final, United, Chelsea. On the debate, manager versus players, how is it the players, when the manager chooses them? Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I see what you mean. So what you're saying is, I think when we lose, people like to blame the players, but when we win, Is that right? I don't quite understand that, Sam. To be honest with you, I don't know if it's me being silly, stupid. On the debate, manager versus players. How is it the players? Oh, okay. How is it the players when the manager chooses them? Okay, yeah, I gotcha. And then they clearly play when they want to. Okay, so what he's saying is, how is it? How is it the players? How can we blame the players, Lee, when the manager keeps the manager keeps picking them? Yeah. Sorry, Sam, for the absolute cluster muck up of your question. My apologies.
Yeah, listen, it's not the thing of wanting. It's just they're not consistent enough. I think that they can turn it up. Like, this is why you'll get cup shocks and things like that from the second division and the first division. So they up their game, and then you'll see that even in tennis. Someone will beat Rafa Nadal, and then the next round they go out because they're up for it against the big boys. And I think Arsenal are in that boat where years ago it used to be everybody used to be up for it against us. Unfortunately, now it's the other way around. We're up at, we raise our game to certain levels against certain teams, and we've got to get rid of that and get back to the mentality. And I think it comes down to mentality. Like, I've played in teams when you played in the FA Cup and you're playing a team that's a couple of leagues above you or whatever, and you put in a performance. You're more on it. It's as simple as that. But it's the good teams that perform week in, week out, and get the results when they go to teams they win. That's why I always admire teams. People criticise Brendan Rodgers, but he used to get Celtic up for every single game, whether they was playing Ross County or Rangers. You know what I mean? And that's what a manager does, and the manager is part of that. When I played in teams, they motivate you, make sure that you're up for the game. We'll tell you if things are going right and wrong. And when you're playing teams at the bottom, you've got that instilled in your heart. It's going to be an easy game, and the manager comes in and makes sure that you don't think it is an easy game. And listen, I've played in teams when if we lost to a team, he says, right, on Tuesday you're running, and you'd run all day, run all night. You know what I mean? And basically you turn around and say, well, so we say, don't lose to teams in the bottom half of the table. So there's different ways now of doing it, but I think it comes down to that mental attitude.
Karen's straight back in. It's great to have you back, Karen, and she comes straight back in with a banging question. This is directed at you, I would imagine, mate. If you could bring back one of Charlie Nicholas, only one answer here. Charlie Nicholas, Charlie George, or Alan Smith in their prime to play in this current team, who would you bring back?
Again, listen. We need that sort of target man striker. So you'd go Alan Smith for that reason there. But sentimental wise, you know what I mean. Charlie Nicholas is coming back in my team, and I would get by a wig to go with it as well, you know what I mean. So there you go.
This one coming in from Liam. Afternoon, lads. Do you think the Euros will go ahead this year? And will Saka be left back for England?
That's an option of him playing left back. I don't think that he will. I think that Gareth Southgate would probably take him as a squad player because he's useless, So, listen, I think the Euros will go on, and I think there'll be fans there. I think
hope so.
Yeah, come the end of June, I think that everything will be back to normal,
Well, I mean, the news certainly in the UK is good. They're looking for the 21st of June for all restrictions to be lifted. But here in Ireland, where I am, we've got another 6 weeks of it. Another 6 weeks of level 5. Yep. I suppose not a best of time to have lost my job, unfortunately. But
no,
I've got plenty of things to do around the house, though. For example, I've got to paint the wall behind me. I hope you all like the effort I've made this evening with my little backdrop here. I've got myself a new camera. I've got myself a new nice little ring light. And I've made a nice little effort. I've got Mark's gift there, look. His glove that he got me for Christmas. I've got me ball. I've got me 1989 programme for Manfield. I've got me Thierry Henry picture. Me signed jersey that the judge sent me for me 40th. And then I've got a load of little jerseys here from years gone by that don't fit me anymore because me got too big. Got them too big. I forgot what I was talking about now. What were we talking about?
Saka.
I think he'll take Luke Shaw, don't you? I mean, as mad as that.
Luke Shaw has been playing really well this season. I have to say that. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Luke Shaw, you've got Chilwell as well at Chelsea, not playing at the moment. So it'll be interesting. I think that maybe he'll take one of them and probably could think to himself, you know what? By getting somebody else in the squad, I could use Saka as a backup as well as we're playing more further forward. So it could well happen, like, you know. But I see him going as the backup, but probably looking as more of a player on the flanks. But when you look at we've got Sancho, we've got Rashford, we've got Grealish, we've got some talent in there that we can use. Foden.
Sorry, I was laughing at a question. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but there's lots of things there, like, you
know. This one comes in for look at this. Like, what weather reporter now? It's I don't know, mate. To be honest, I went out in the car this morning, and the road seems okay. So wherever you are, but just take it easy on the road because I know a lot of the by roads. We've had some horrendous weather, Lee, here.
Really?
The last 2 days. I've never seen rain like it. Never seen rain like it.
Really? Been beautiful last few
unbelievable.
Days. Beautiful.
Question for the judge. Out of 10. You prick. Out of 10, how much does Craig look like referee?
He's useless and all. He's fucking useless and all, like, you know what I mean? So 10 out of 10, definitely, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, dearie me. This one comes in. Hendon Gunner saw that Chelsea v Arsenal match and watched it on the big screen at Highbury. The place was rocking, and the new North Bank Stadium, North Bank Stadium stand was shaking. Remember that? Yeah. Remember when we had that mural up behind it?
Oh, unbelievable!
And didn't it have speak. Sorry, am I boring you?
No, just you know. It that like I don't know what I think you're just thinking of that referee, like, you know, Kevin,
Chris
like,
Kavanagh. I don't think I look nothing like him.
Oh.
I've had people tell me I look like Adam Sandler, Chris Kavanagh.
What film star? That's funny, that, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
Paolo Di Canio, I've had.
No, I won't go along with that.
No,
the referee you're a spitting image of.
Nah,
you are.
Nah, I don't see it.
No, I do.
Craig, how tall are you? I'm 5'11", mate. 5'11".
You're not 6 foot.
No, 5'11".
I'm surprised.
5'11". This one. Let's have a look at this one. This one. The real. I always mess up this fella's name. I'm so sorry. We're going to have to do a WhatsApp voice call for me to get this right. The real Giannis. Guys, very important question. I love Arsenal, but I've lost my enthusiasm. The owners need to tell us where we are as a club and their ambition. What do you guys think? I agree with you totally, mate. And
I told us a bit
I share your thoughts there about losing your enthusiasm. I lost my enthusiasm in the last few months of the Wenger era, I think. And then Emery came along and took us on a 20-game unbeaten run, and then you start to think, oh, great, you know, rubbing your hands together, and then the graph is just going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, isn't it? I'm
not enjoying football as much as I used to. One, because we're crap, and two, with no fans in at the moment, it's a tough watching it, and it's a tough arse. And also, it's not the same Arsenal that I fell in love with, and that's the truth. It's not the same. The Arsenal Football Club has changed.
Not the same club. Yes.
It's definitely changed since it's moved from Highbury to the Emirates. 100%. Different club.
This one, I was reading a report on this today. Actually, the rumours of I'm not even going to try and put this fella. He's going to take a takeover. Now, this brings me on to a good question. This one comes in from Ryan, who runs the Mr. Arsenal podcast, and it also was asked by another good friend of the podcast, Gunnar Souls. It's very much the same question, so I'll just read it out here. Now, with this news that this fellow is going to launch a takeover bid, with the rumours of Stan's financial losses over the past years, do we think that the rumours of Stan and this fella in the summer have any truth? Do you think that Stan Kroenke might be talked into selling with all the money that he's lost this year?
Well, it's a possibility, you know, like, and at this moment in time is like anything. It's a good time to buy, isn't it? You know, so if you are going to sell, it's probably the right time to sell. If you know, because you're not going to get a good deal over the next couple of years for what's going on, you know. So I don't know, you know. For me, if somebody come in, I think, and made Kroenke the right offer, I think he would sell. But I don't know, you know. Sometimes
Well, I agree with you, because he's a businessman, right? And businessmen will, you know, businessmen will take an offer if it's good enough for them.
Yeah,
well, we all know that. He's not just going to hold on to us for the sake of it and lose money. I mean, he's lost a lot of money in this year. I mean, he's just paid out $5 billion or something stupid for that Super Bowl stadium that he's just built over in America.
And he's losing money on that, isn't he? Really, if you look at it, because there's no one going in it.
Yeah.
You know?
So I mean, he's gonna have to look to recuperate some of that money somewhere.
Yeah,
do you know?
So lovely. So the only trouble with selling Arsenal, he's got football franchises that are not as heavyweight as Arsenal. Like, you know, his American football teams and all that are like mid-table. Like Arsenal he's got a big hitter there. Like, so whether he'll sell that because they're a big hitter or not, I don't know. Hopefully he would.
Money talks, mate. Money talks.
Money talks.
This one, my thoughts are below. Craig, have you ever played crazy golf in Ross Carberry? Yes, I have. Many times played crazy golf in Ross Carberry. How's that for a random question? Very random. Great little crazy golf.
Crazy golf.
Great little crazy golf course. In
Being
West
Irish,
Cork in Ross Carberry. Smuggler's Cove. It's great. It's got a big it's got a big maze. A maze. You know the maze?
Yeah.
A maze. The crop maze. Made out of a maze made out of maize. Only in Ireland do they have mazes made out of maize. It's quite good. So yeah, for a £5 you can go and play crazy golf and then go and get lost on the maze made of maize. It's good.
Brilliant. Take your missus there then.
Rumour has it Lee played with Maradona.
There you go. Like, you know what I mean?
True or false?
What do you think?
True.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I played with Diego. Like, you know what I mean? So,
let's have a look here now.
What Diego Maradona though?
It was Diego, but not Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
This one comes in from Jess. Yeah, gents, do you believe that Willock, Nelson, Nikita, and Maitland-Niles are not good enough for Arsenal, or haven't they been given a real chance to prove themselves? I'm not sure either way.
Yeah,
out of those names, I'm saying I would, if I had to let two of them go, I would let Nikita and Nelson go. Out of those two, I would keep Willock and I would keep Maitland-Niles. What about you, mate?
Yeah, I'm a bit saddened about what's happened to Reece Nelson. I think that he's had injuries, you know, and every time he's nearly had a good little run in the side, it's not quite worked. Eddie, I think that I've seen enough of him now to say that he's not going to make it at the Arsenal, but he's still going to have a good career wherever he goes. Good luck and all that. I think Maitland-Niles can play at right back or central midfield. I know the one says in there in central midfield. I watched him, funny enough, for West Brom the other day. He excelled. And Willock's doing exceptionally well at Newcastle at the moment. Every game he's played, he's done well. You know, I know he gave away a penalty the other day, but he's played pretty well. So, you know, I'd probably go down the lines that you're saying there, like, you know, but I think with Nelson, there is a player there, but unfortunately, through injuries and whatever, it's not happened for him.
Oh, I had a question then and I pressed the button and now it's gone. Hate that. Sorry now. Oh, here it is. This one comes in from Pramod. Hello, sir. How are you? Do you think Arteta should have some Arsenal experience in his coaching staff? If you can bring in an attacking coach, if you can bring in an attack coach and a defence coach, oh, what a question. Who would you choose? I'll let you answer that one first, mate. So if you could bring in an ex-player to coach the defence and coach the attack, who are you bringing in?
Dennis Bergkamp and Tony Adams.
Oh, boom. That's it.
Or Martin Keown. Martin Keown's a very, very good coach. You know, done really well at Arsenal, but was too technical and too what's named for Arsene Wenger. So I would think about bringing someone like that in there. I think you need to bring in a couple of. I'm not saying that the guys at the backroom staff at the moment, I've got no time for, because I think Mikel's made too many mistakes. He's inexperienced, so he can let it go. But the people behind him are not giving him the right advice, as far as I'm concerned. So for me, I would like to see something else there. The defensive side of it, who's ever doing the defensive side is doing a decent
Doing
job.
all right. Yeah,
doing all right. But like someone with a bit of flair, a bit of attacking ability would be very, very nice going forward.
Absolutely. This one from JSG. Evening, boys. Do you think the lack of accountability and poor mentality from the owner through to the players is the reason we have seen a gradual decline? Bloody good point, Nat. I like that. That's a good point.
I think that's a fantastic point. And 100%. 100%. You know what I mean? It's not been there. I think accountability from the manager for the last 10 years has not been there. I don't think there's accountability for the manager now. I don't think there is for the players. Certain players get dropped and others don't. And I think there is a complacency about the football club, which has been going on for too long now.
Yeah. Who has been Arsenal's best player this season? In from Wilson. Good evening to you, mate. Thanks for your question. Thanks for watching.
Well, I think there's no doubt about it. You know, Willian's been absolutely outstanding this season. Going to win it, like, you know what I mean. So for me, I think it's Saka, 100%. I think he's been.
Yeah, I think there's an argument for Kieran Tierney as well. Yeah, I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah. I think there is, but Saka for me.
Wilson with another good one. Do you think Arsenal finish above Tottenham? I think. Do you know what? To be honest, I think that's all we've got left to hope for, isn't it?
Well, I don't know about hope, because, you know what I mean, it should be a given as far as I'm concerned, but it certainly hasn't been over the last few seasons. I can't see it this season. I just think, you know, Arsenal were as inconsistent as they are. You know, I think that we'll win a few games here, lose a few. I think we've got Leicester this week. Who have they got this week? They've got Burnley at home, so they're already 2 points in front of us with a game in hand. So say if they get 5 points, they'll beat Burnley. We won't beat Leicester, so it'll be 5, say maybe 8 points, and then we've got to make up 8 points going into the rest of the season. I think it's going to be difficult. We've had our opportunities to go above them. We failed every time.
We have, to be honest. You're dead right there. How tall is Lee?
5'11".
Same as me.
Yeah.
This one comes in from Gary Mullen. Thanks for your question, mate. Lee, what was it like in the stadium the night we beat Barcelona 2-1?
A 2-1 with the
Marshall.
Probably one of the best atmospheres in the stadium at the time. There's been a few that would have to go down in that. I know that it was a great performance and all that, like, but and result. But I you know, we had the second leg to come, and like 2-1 weren't enough. Do you know what I mean? And I always had that in the back of my mind that it wasn't enough to go through. And when we was, if you remember, I think it was the next game was the Van Persie diabolical sending off. I think Bentner went through in the last minute and could have won it for us. But over the two, you know, but the atmosphere in that ground, I think if anybody was there that day would turn around and say it was great. Performances from players like, you know, Cesc Fabregas was brilliant that night, but Jack Wilshere even better. So it was just a great. And when that goal went in, it was fantastic. You know what I mean? Like the Leicester game with Welbeck, I think, has to go down as one of the other great ones.
What about talk to me about the eruption or the noise or the flow of emotion when Thierry Henry scored against Leeds that night?
Oh, that was unbelievable. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So that was fantastic. Thierry Henry goal against Man United in the last minute was another. Was another one. Like the emotion of the Thierry Henry, you know, coming back and scoring was always going to be a great thing. There was a night of frustration as well, if I remember right. We weren't great.
It weren't great. I mean, all these goals. I mean, you're thinking back of actually sitting there and being there. All those goals you just mentioned, I can remember what pub I was in.
Yeah,
what you know.
You know, like, if you go back again, the 5-2 against Tottenham, when we come back for that was a great game. The 4-2 against Tottenham when we come back from it was at like we was 1-0 up in the first few minutes and they was 2-1 up and there was the aggro in the right and then the performance in the second half was fantastic.
What about the North London derby when Van Persie put us 1-0 up and then Fabregas nicked it off at the kickoff?
For the 3-0 one, that was like great. There's been some great games, you know, at the Emirates, and you know, there's been some howlers as well. But that was, you know, was up there. The Leicester one, I'll tell you, you know, when we nicked that goal in the last minute, even though that has to be up there as well, like, you know. So
I think we all won. I think most of us think that we won the league that day.
Well, listen. You know, we went level with points with Leicester that day. Leicester had lost 3 games and they never lost another game after that.
That's true, yeah.
So, as well as what we could have done, you know, you have to give Leicester credit. They went on a run after that. That's about mentality. You know, they got stuffed got done in the last kick of the game, and then to stay unbeaten to the end of the season, you'd say that, you know, that was quality, like, you know. So if someone's just putting there the 3-0 against Manchester United, when we went through, you know, Sanchez was on fire.
Oh, that was lovely.
That was
Sanchez goal. The Sanchez goal. I think it was the second one, was it? The bullet into the top corner.
Yeah, when he cut. Yeah,
what a finish! What a finish!
Unbelievable.
Kangaroo Jack has become a YouTube member. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. You're helping. Well, at the moment, me not having a job, you're helping me out and all now. So thank you very much for that. Let's have a look. There was another good one there. I saw. I hate it when it moves on. Oh, here it is. This one comes in from Michael Grayson. Thanks for your question, mate. Thanks for your support. You have to keep 2 for the rest of their careers, and the rest have to go at the end of their contracts. Who are you keeping? Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel, Tierney. Oh,
good question.
Deary me, what a question. Thank you for that, Michael. Brilliant question.
Saka stays.
Saka's staying, yeah.
I love Martinelli, I love Gabriel, and I love Tierney. So it's a difficult one, really. Like, you know what I mean? But just for the sheer fact that
that's a tough one. That is.
Yeah, I'm going to go Martinelli because he's a bit. I think he's going to be a superstar. I really do. If handled properly, I think he's going to be.
Yeah.
Him and Saka are going to be like they can be 2 of the most exciting players Arsenal for a very long time.
Right, the way I look at this, and I look at it logically, and this doesn't happen very often. Saka stays. Martinelli, Gabriel, Tierney. I would, if it was me, I would keep Kieran Tierney because I think Kieran Tierney is one of those once in a blue moon players where another Martinelli could come along in the next 6 months. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense, but I just feel with Tierney, he's like a little bit injury prone.
That's true. That's true. I mean, when he's fully...
the only thing that puts doubt in my mind about him, the only thing, which is a shame, but I think he's I do like him as well. I like his attitude, I like everything about him, but unfortunately injuries, he just doesn't seem to be able to last a full season, but you know, it's still a fantastic player.
Absolutely. This one from Kangaroo Jack. Lee, do you think some of the players have weak mentalities when we get scored against? Because it seems to me sometimes we give up or accept defeat.
Well, I think that's a little bit with what's been going on. Like, there's an acceptance. You know, Arsenal have lost 11 games this season, and there's an acceptance. You know what I mean? Like, when we was in our plump under Wenger in those years, we never lost 11 games over a course of 4 or 5 seasons. Do you know what I mean? Like, lost 3, lost 1, lost none. You know, all of a sudden we've lost 11 and there's an acceptance. Like, you know, what I don't like about Arsenal, and I see it firsthand when I was at Sheffield United last season, we was right behind the goal, so only like two rows back, and the goal was conceded by a corner. It was, you know, you shouldn't, you know, like you say, you shouldn't concede at a corner, but like, you know, everybody's accountable from a corner. Especially nowadays when they've got it, you know, as soon as you go in at half time, it's on the screen. Well, you should have had, you know, like in the old days, him up like, it's all there. There's accountability. And there was an acceptance of just, oh, well, we've conceded the goal, and I don't like that. I've played in teams and I've seen Arsenal teams. If you concede a goal, they're not happy. I know this from a story that Kevin told me that Arsenal won and 4-1 somewhere. In the last minute, they conceded a goal against the team to go 4-1. And Martin Keown and Tony Adams were having a row in the dressing room because they conceded a goal. They've just won the game 4-1. That's the mentality you want. That's the mentality you want.
Just goes to show them why they were so good, doesn't it?
Well, of course it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, we won the game. You know what I mean? But had to be dragged apart because they conceded a goal. That's the mentality that you want.
This one comes in from King Gunner. Why do you, when Arsenal players sign big contracts, their performance suddenly drop? So many examples of this happening in the recent era.
Great point. I do think that one of them being that they've signed these big contracts, these two players, when I look at Ozil and Aubameyang, when they're in their 30s, a little bit of hunger gone, a little bit of ambition gone. I don't know. Yeah. I can't answer that.
Payday. Last
big payday. I'm not saying they should be getting it when they were younger, but, listen, I think that it's a tough.
Well, it goes back to the other question, doesn't it? About has that mentality filtered down from the top? Look, we've always said that because Arsenal have recruited poorly, and we've always said this, that there's no one to challenge Aubameyang for his spot, is there? There's no one there now who you could say, "Well, drop him. Let's play him." Because if he ain't going to play, then drop him. There's no one there, is it? We need Aubameyang there, if you ask me, whether he's playing poorly or whether he's playing well, because there just isn't anyone else there to put in. It happened when Giroud was here. Giroud was playing every week because there was no one to challenge for his position.
Well, I think there are players to challenge, but they don't. This time around there is, but the manager chooses not to put him in there, And the thing is with Aubameyang at this moment in time, he's probably a big personality, and I don't think probably Mikel Arteta, because he's inexperienced, can handle that big personality at the moment and leave him out and whatever. Listen, George Graham didn't care if you weren't doing it, you was out. You know what I mean? So there was a different thing there. It's a good question there. Just in 94-95 season, Arsenal lost 17 games. Well, that was one of the worst Arsenal teams for a very, very long while. And like Kevin would go along with that as well. It was the changing of the guard. That was when George Graham got sacked that year. And that was probably one of the worst seasons in Arsenal's history. Lots of things going on that didn't help during that season. I remember going to a game Boxing Day, me and my mate, and playing QPR that season, 0-0. Freezing cold, 20 minutes to go from the end. Martin Keown and Paul Merson were warming up. And I said, well, he's going to bring on Merson now, to win the game. Brought on Keown, put him in midfield. I said, right, come Stu, let's go. And we went 0-0. I think that not only the players weren't good enough, their manager lost the plot as well. I think George Graham, I don't know, for whatever reason, wasn't the same. And it was one of the worst seasons in Arsenal's history. Well, in the Premier League as well,
Oh, in the Premier League as well, yeah. This one comes in from Daniel. Good evening to you, sir. How are you? This is a good one and all. If Lehmann hadn't have been sent off in a Champions League final in 2006, would we have gone on to win the game? I am going to give a confident yes.
Yeah, do you
absolutely.
Know what? Yeah, I think we had a chance. We had a chance. The worst thing about that was he should just let him have the penalty. Let him have the penalty. Let him score. Let him score. Go 1-0 down.
Yeah.
And then we still got 11 men on the pitch, you know what I mean? And we could have come back in that game. Listen, even at 10 men, I still say this now. Thierry Henry should have gone. He went through.
Oh, don't.
1-on-1 and missed them. So even with 10, we could have probably won the game. We would have been out of sight then, 2-0 up, and that would have been it with 20 minutes to go. Who knows, you know what I mean? Like, the rain came down, didn't it? And, Almunia had a bit of a mare with one of the goals, if I remember rightly. And once it went 1-1, So,
I think so, yeah. I think we all knew what was going to come.
Yeah, we all knew what was coming then. So it was a tough ask. Tough ask.
It was. This one... What is really going on at our training facilities? Players known to be non-injury prone, arrive at Arsenal, and are constantly injured.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I've heard there was a couple of years ago, I think when I was back on my Gooner Talk days, and DT used to be on quite a lot, and he was doing they were doing some kind of, I think I don't know, was you at that? I'm not too sure. Had we met?
When they
then,
played at the training ground,
they played at the training ground. Yeah, I actually had him on. I had him on the show, and we were talking about it. And he said that the ground, he'd never been on such a hard surface in all of it, like playing football.
Well, according to what they say, is that that one of the training pitches is exactly the same as the Emirates. So and I think that. I think Rio Ferdinand said something that he was training for England and it didn't have no give in it, So, it may have something to do with it. I think it's that, and the medical staff ain't never been that up to speed with injuries and whatever. So I think that's something that's been a little bit of a problem. I think that whole I think you look at someone like Partey, hasn't been injured, but I think that may be something to do with the Premier League as well, where you've got to be fully at it all the time. And then at the moment, listen, lots of players are going down injured more than most because they're not having enough recovery time or didn't have enough pre-season to get in their legs, So it's a difficult one. Arsenal, it's been like that for the last 10, 15 years, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
injuries.
Well, since Gary, was it Gary Lewin?
Gary
Left,
Lewin.
It's kind of gone to pot since he left, really.
Yeah.
I've lost it again. Here it is, Lee. This one comes for you, mate. You'd like to know your opinion. In hindsight, would you have re-signed Aubameyang? For me, I don't think his quality or skills match what Arteta wants from a centre forward. Now, that is a great point. Now, because I think we look better when Lacazette's in there, because Lacazette's
scoring power.
Yeah, but his work rate. Yeah. If we could put Aubameyang's goal scoring into Lacazette, Christ, he'd be worth 100 million.
Yeah, and vice versa. The other way around. I think it's a tough question. In hindsight, would you? No, because he's been absolutely awful this season, if you be honest. But if you'd have said to me last season, going after the games against Man City and Chelsea, you'd have said to me that he'd had an absolutely awful season, then I wouldn't. And there's a real possibility that he's the one that's going to cost us Champions League football again. It cost us Champions League football with a miss against Tottenham. I know it weren't down to all that, but if we'd have got the 3 points that day, and we could have probably gone on to the Champions League, and who knows what would have happened when he missed that penalty. And he's missed chances that could knock us out of the game tomorrow. We should be home and dry, and that's what he's being paid big money for. He owes us big time.
I was quickly shut down last night on Twitter. I saw there was a big Oliver Giroud loving going on because he scored an overhead kick against Chelsea, and we all know you can yawn, mate. It's okay.
No, you're all right. You're all right.
The big loving because he scored an overhead kick, and I wish we hadn't a soldier, and this, that, and the other. And I put up a post. There was about 15 games listed on it. No goals, no goals, no goals, no goals, no goals, no goals. And someone tweeted me back saying, "Now do one for Aubameyang." And she was bloody dead right.
Yeah,
she's dead right.
Listen, you cannot talk. When you talk about Aubameyang, for 2.5 years he's been sensational, and he has. For the two. But this season he doesn't deserve his place in the team. He scored a hat-trick against Leeds, which was great. Did it really mean a lot? Not really. You know what I mean? The game against where it really meant was Benfica, and he fouled, and he's fouled all season as far as I'm concerned. For whatever reason, that is the facts of the matter. He's not been nowhere near good enough this season, and he owes us big time. He owes us tomorrow, because I think if we go out tomorrow, it is I'm not going to be blamed. You can blame Arteta as much as you like, and rightly so, but we should have. This game should be done and dusted now. We shouldn't even be worrying about this game whatsoever. We should be just concentrating on the next round. Resting players like other teams have been able to do, but because of missing open goals and good chances, wrong decisions, we're up against it tomorrow. I do think that is no people keep saying, "Oh, we're at home tomorrow." When we're not, it's a neutral ground and
the away leg of the away leg.
Yeah, and they've got, they've only got a score, and when we're really up against it. Really up against it.
We'll finish on with this one. We'll finish with Karen because Lee's I'll be due to bed in 20 minutes. For now until the end of the season, would you play Lacazette and Aubameyang together because of the separate qualities they bring?
Well, I think Mikel's tried to do that when he's sort of put Aubameyang on the left and all that, but then you're going to lose someone like Pepe or Martinelli, or even now Smith Rowe out there, So it'd be interesting to see where he actually goes tomorrow. I think tomorrow's lineup's going to be very, very interesting for me about Lacazette and his future at the football club. I really do. I think that it's a massive game, but look, they've tried that in the past, and I think that the trouble with Lacazette is that when he plays in that role, he doesn't get in the box. He doesn't go in and hurt people. If he had that killer instinct, he'd be a fantastic player, but he wants to join the play all the time. And that, is not a bad thing if you've got players, sort of like what Liverpool got, with Salah and Sane, that, it doesn't mean that it's reliant on his goals, but the way we play, we're reliant on that centre forward scoring a goal. We're reliant on Aubameyang scoring goals. So it's a difficult one for me. I think that he'll go tomorrow with definitely Aubameyang up top, Saka will play, and I think probably Smith Rowe will play back out there again, and Odegaard back into the middle. That's what I think that he'll do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game we must win, and like I said on Monday, it's a game we must win. But we've got to pray and hope that the draw's kind to us as well.
Well, it ain't been kind. Even this one, look, Spurs are playing.
Well, everything. I think every draw that we've been in hasn't been kind, has it?
Yeah. Spurs got an away, playing on a neutral ground away from home, and then they're playing their home leg. Don't matter, they're through anyway. But like their home leg at home, we've had to go away on both. You know what I mean? What one team does and one team don't. So you've got to be lucky not only in the draw, what country you go to as well.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And it's a big thing. It's a big thing. So, you don't want to be going to Portugal or Germany anyway, against good teams and not only against a good team, giving up your home advantage as well. So, you can guarantee that next round we'll be drawn out away second. So, like our away leg next week, next game will be in the second leg. So, make it even difficult. You can guarantee that. So it'll be a tough ask, but we'll have to see what happens.
Absolutely, mate. We've been answering questions for an hour. Can you believe that?
Yeah, 1 hour. It goes quick, doesn't it?
It does go quick. Time goes quick when having fun. Lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Or I should say, lads and lasses. My apologies to the lasses that are in the chat. We're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on our first episode of The Question of Arsenal. We're going to carry on doing these every week. And we will try and we'll do them at 5 o'clock when we can. If we can't do them at 5 o'clock, we'll do them a little bit later on in the day. But we will be doing this every Wednesday night. So something for you guys to come, get into the chat box, talk to each other, reminisce with each other. Like, it's really good to see here now in the chat box people reminiscing about games at Highbury and this, that, and the other. So it's nice. It's a great community, and I'm proud of it. So, yeah, you can come and ask us anything you want. We'll be back next Wednesday at 5 o'clock to do another one. I believe Dan is back with a team talk on Friday for is it Leicester at the weekend? Is it Leicester at the weekend? Yeah, Leicester at the weekend. Dan will be back on Friday to do a team talk for Leicester. And then, of course, we will return on Monday for the main podcast. And we'll be talking about, obviously, tomorrow's game against Benfica and the game against Leicester. Lee, thank you very much. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. Do you know that?
Enjoyed that. Thanks for that. That was really enjoyable. Really enjoyable hour that was. Enjoyed it.
Until we see you again, remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Up the Arsenal.
How are you going?